Welcome to United Report, your daily hub for all things Manchester United. From breaking news to transfer talk and match updates, we've got every red covered. If you live and breathe United, hit subscribe and join the family. Glory, glory, Man United.
Manchester United's goalkeeper saga has taken another twist. Reports claim Inter Milan want to bring Andre Onana back to the San Siro just 2 years after selling him to the Red Devils. That move could open the door for United to land PSG star Gianluigi Donnarumma, with legends like Wayne Rooney and Gary Neville insisting an upgrade in goal is a must. Manchester United have been given new hope of finding the funds for Gianluigi Donnarumma through returning Andre Onana to Inter Milan. The Italian side are interested in bringing the keeper back to the San Siro, just 2 years after selling him to United, it has been claimed. Onana has had an up-and-down United career since reaching the Champions League final with Inter in 2023. He made a number of high-profile mistakes last season, though, prompting suggestions the Red Devils might look for an upgrade. The keeper has been absent from pre-season matches while working his way back to full fitness, but head coach Ruben Amorim insisted injury was not behind his decision to leave Onana out against Arsenal on Sunday. No, he is not injured. He's recovered, but the other guys did so well during pre-season, so I need to balance that, Amorim said after picking Altay Bayindir and naming Tom Heaton on the bench. United have been linked with a number of keepers as his replacement. The bulk of the noise concerns Gianluigi Donnarumma, who two former stars believe would be the right man for the job, while there has also been renewed interest in Aston Villa's Emi Martinez. Senna Lamens is also a target, with United and Inter both after the Belgian. However, according to The Sun, Inter are turning their attentions to Onana amid a feeling he would welcome a return to the club. If Inter do come in with a bid for Onana, it could well allow United to land Donnarumma, despite interest from neighbours Manchester City. The Italian won the Champions League with Paris Saint-Germain last season, but is thought to be available for as little as £26 million after the French club's summer move for Lucas Chevalier. Such a move would please former United star Wayne Rooney. Donnarumma, I think he's 26. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. It would be crazy if Man United don't go for him, the former striker said on his podcast. I don't think he's a risk. I saw a stat the other day, the errors leading direct to goals. His was 0. Rooney isn't the only former United player insistent on an upgrade in goal. It's a glaring issue at United that cannot be ignored, and that is that they do need to find a goalkeeper. They have to. I'm absolutely unequivocal on that, former skipper Gary Neville said on the Gary Neville podcast. In my 20 years at Manchester United, we had 2 periods of 7 or 8 years with Peter Schmeichel and Edwin van der Sar, and in between we had 7 or 8 goalkeepers in a 6, 7, 8 year period. And it's really unsettling when you don't have a dominant number 1 who is 6 feet 2 inches, dominant in the air and owns his 6-yard box and comes and punches everything and makes a lot of saves one-on-one and saves you points when your defenders make mistakes. Manchester United may have lost to Arsenal in their Premier League opener, but all the talk is about Ruben Amorim. His fearless decisions benching stars and reshaping the squad have fans and pundits saying, this is the closest we've seen to Sir Alex Ferguson's ruthless streak. Ruben Amorim has drawn comparisons to Manchester United legend Sir Alex Ferguson due to his ruthless approach to team selection. Former Red Devil star Wes Brown made the observation after the Portuguese boss demonstrated his willingness to make bold decisions since his arrival at Old Trafford. United kicked off their Premier League season with a narrow 1-0 home loss to Arsenal on Sunday. And there were reasons for the hosts to feel encouraged as United created the majority of clear-cut chances despite succumbing to Ricardo Calafiori's early header. New arrivals Brian Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha played the full 90 minutes in their United debuts, while Rasmus Højlund was omitted from the matchday squad entirely. Altay Bayindir, whose display came under scrutiny from Gary Neville following his role in Calafiori's opener, was given the nod in goal amid ongoing speculation surrounding Andre Onana's future. Amorim, 40, has demonstrated his readiness to make courageous calls since taking over from Erik ten Hag in November 2024. Sunday's team sheet reinforced Brown's earlier comparison between the current manager and club icon Ferguson. I remember first coming in and Sir Alex got rid of big names. He told The Athletic via the Manchester Evening News earlier this summer in Chicago. They'd been brilliant for him over the years, but just like that, gone. That's the best way to do it. He's signed a few players who can play in different positions, especially those who have done really well in the Premier League. That's a massive thing, something we've missed. Brown, who made his Premier League debut for United in 1998, joined the club's first team during a period of change under Ferguson. The legendary manager had guided the Red Devils to glory with stars like Gary Pallister, Brian McClare, Lee Sharp and Steve Bruce in the mid-90s, but wasn't afraid to bid farewell when he felt it necessary. Onana and Hodgland were brought to Old Trafford by Ten Hag in the summer of 2023 for a potential combined fee of around £115 million. Both are rumoured to be on their way out of United this summer, although Amorim insisted on Sunday that Onana's absence was due to a lack of training and fitness. Bayindir's inability to command his area from an early Declan Rice corner once again highlighted the goalkeeping issues at United. Despite struggles in attack, Mbeumo and Cunha showed promise, while new signing Benjamin Sesko could only do so much in his brief 25-minute appearance off the bench. Alejandro Garnacho, Antony, Jadon Sancho and Tyrell Malacia were all left out of United's first squad of the Premier League season. Each of the four is expected to leave the club this summer, further demonstrating Amorim's confidence in his decisions. Academy graduate and ex-United poster boy Marcus Rashford has been loaned to Barcelona in another big call this summer. January signing Patrick Dorgu also made a strong impression on United's left flank on Sunday, showing Amorim's influence is gradually taking shape at Old Trafford. The last 2 weeks of the summer transfer window could bring even more changes, with some marketable players still officially part of the squad. However, Amorim's refusal to include them, despite the pressure of the Premier League resuming, demonstrates a firm commitment reminiscent of Ferguson himself. Manchester United opened their Premier League season with a massive clash against Arsenal at Old Trafford, and there could be several debutants in Ruben Amorim's starting 11. Brian Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha are set to start, with Benjamin Sesko pushing for his first minutes. Off the pitch, Roma have submitted a £20 million bid for Jadon Sancho, while Fulham and AC Milan circle for Rasmus Højlund. Could United's season start with both big debuts and major exits? Manchester United kickstart their new Premier League campaign when they host Arsenal on Sunday. Ruben Amorim's side had a mixed pre-season, winning 2 and drawing 3 of their 5 fixtures, finishing off with a 1-1 stalemate against Fiorentina last Saturday. But now United's full focus turns to competitive action, with Mikel Arteta's Arsenal first up at Old Trafford. The Reds could have a number of new faces on show, with Brian Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha poised to start after arriving from Brentford and Wolves this summer. Meanwhile, Benjamin Sesko is expected to be involved in the United squad following his blockbuster move from RB Leipzig. The 22-year-old might have to settle for a place on the bench after having limited time with the rest of his teammates, but Amorim may throw him into the 11th. While United's immediate attention is on the return of the Premier League, the Reds still have work to do in the transfer market. Several players are expected to leave United before the end of the summer, while 1 or 2 may still arrive to strengthen the squad. Roma have submitted an official bid to United to sign Jadon Sancho, according to Fabrizio Romano. The Serie A side have offered £20 million to United for the 25-year-old's services. Roma are also open to a loan-to-buy deal for Sancho, should that be United's preference. The Reds, however, are keen to offload the England international on a permanent basis. Gian Piero Gasparini's men are in contact with both Sancho and Aston Villa's Leon Bailey, as they look to strengthen out wide before the end of the summer. Sancho, meanwhile, has opened the doors to a move to Roma and is prepared to make the switch to Italy for the next step of his career. Men says, United need to sell Sancho this summer. The Reds need to get some high earners, such as Sancho, off the wage bill and raise funds to strengthen other areas. As the ex-Borussia Dortmund man doesn't have a future in Ruben Amorim's squad, securing £20 million for his services would be an astute piece of business. For Sancho himself, he could do with getting a permanent move and revitalising his career after a difficult couple of years. Roma, who are in this season's Europa League, have ex-Atalanta manager Gasparini at the helm. Fulham are showing tentative interest in signing United forward Rasmus Højlund, according to the Daily Mail. Marco Silva's side are weighing up a move for the Denmark international, as Rodrigo Muniz is the subject to offers from Serie A side Atalanta.ac, Milan have been in talks with United for Højlund and have offered a £4.5 million loan fee with an option to buy for £39 million. However, the 22-year-old has made it clear that he wants to fight for his place at Old Trafford, despite the arrival of Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig last week. Men says, "I think that Højlund is going to struggle for regular game time this season." Sesko is set to be United's first-choice striker, while Amorim could use Fernandes in the false nine role in his absence. It means that Højlund might not even be the backup option, meaning that an exit could be the most feasible and best solution. With Fulham about to lose Muniz, Højlund would more than likely go in as the Whites' best number 9, though he would face competition from Raúl Jiménez. I think that he should consider this move, as it makes sense all round. Manchester United's blockbuster summer transfer business shows no signs of slowing, as the club pushes hard to strengthen Amorim's squad ahead of the new Premier League season. Manchester United are planning to continue pushing for Carlos Baléba's signature. Brighton are understood to want around £120 million for the 21-year-old, with owner Tony Bloom known for sticking to his guns. But the Old Trafford hierarchy remain unfazed by Brighton's refusal and are currently figuring out how to construct a payment package. According to The Independent, United are considering an initial £80 million fee, with the rest made up of add-ons. There would be a will to send a player such as Roma-linked Jadon Sancho the other way, but it's unlikely that Brighton will go for that. But it's also understood that Baleba is priced above what United would be prepared to pay this summer. He is the midfielder that United's Ineos hierarchy would wish to sign were they not operating within tight PSR rules. Fans questioned how the club could afford to splash £200 million on 3 new signings: Matheus Cunha, Bryan Mbeumo and Benjamin Sesko. But it's become clear that the PSR scare stories were perhaps overblown, with United operating within the guidelines after spreading out contracts instalments. However, splashing another 100-odd million on a player might be too big an ask. United are on the hunt for a dynamic midfielder to go in Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3 pivot after unconvincing displays by Manuel Ugarte and Casemiro in pre-season. Academy hero and breakout England midfielder Kobbie Mainoo is also struggling to find a consistent place and position in Amorim's squad. Baleba joined Brighton in 2023, but has already secured his position as a key figure for the Seagulls, making 34 appearances in a season where Brighton finished 8th. He is another example of Brighton's impressive scouting system, signed as a replacement for British record transfer Moises Caicedo, who, in turn, took the place of Yves Bissouma after a big money move to Tottenham. This is a tried and tested formula for Brighton, as they've lost key players in the past, such as Alexis McAllister, only for others to step up and fill in. Baleba previously told The Sun that praise from players like Declan Rice, Cunha and Joelinton, as well as watching Man City star Rodri lift the Ballon d'Or, has encouraged him to set his sights on the most prestigious individual award in football. Baleba missed Brighton's last 3 pre-season games, having not played since mid-July with a reported knee injury. In other squad news, Toby Collier is set to join Championship side West Bromwich Albion on loan to gain valuable first-team experience. United are also tracking developments in the goalkeeping market. They had been in a 3-way battle with Manchester City and Chelsea for PSG stopper Gianluigi Donnarumma, but a decision on his future is said to be close. Meanwhile, there's growing interest in Bayern Munich defender Dayot Upamecano. The Frenchman's contract expires next season, and although Bayern are keen to extend, negotiations have stalled. United's interest is reportedly complicating matters, with his agent sounding out other Premier League clubs as well. Højlund's future in the balance. One of the biggest stories inside Old Trafford concerns Rasmus Højlund. The Danish striker, signed for £72 million from Atalanta last summer, initially vowed to stay and fight for his place, despite competition from new arrivals Matheus Cunha, Bryan Mbeumo and Benjamin Sesko. However, in the past fortnight, there's been a potential shift in his camp's stance. AC Milan are leading the chase to take him back to Serie A, with United reportedly open to a £5 million loan deal that includes an option to buy for around £35 million next summer. No final decision has been made, with Højlund yet to commit to leaving. United are also casting an eye on future stars. Scouts recently watched Ricardo Matthias, a 19-year-old forward from International, who has been dubbed the next Lewandowski. Valued at £56.2 million, Matthias has impressed for Brazil's U20s and in domestic competitions, catching the eye of top European clubs. With just weeks left in the transfer window, Manchester United appear determined to make at least one more significant signing while juggling key decisions on the futures of current squad members.